All right, so we're going to have a little chat with a world champion, Lionel Sanders. Came out for the run today for the 5K Tour de Via Italia, and Lionel's a local, and he's great giving his time to the community coming out to the events. So, Lionel, what happened last weekend?
I did the ITU Long Course World Championship, which was a 3K swim to a 120K bike to a 30K run. And I had a good swim, came out about 4 minutes down to the front, worked hard on the bike, and at about 90K, I was a minute 45 down. I was in second place, a minute 45 down, and then going down a descent at 70 kilometers an hour, I got a flat tire. And that was scary, probably the scariest flat I've ever gotten. And anyways, I went into, actually didn't panic, stayed very under control, actually eerily under control, and changed the flat in just under 4 minutes, and then hopped back on the bike. I knew my bike's time was going to be garbage, so I didn't work too hard for the remainder, the other 28K of the bike. And then onto the run course, I knew I was going to have the run of my life, and I basically went out as hard as I could, knowing that maybe, just maybe, I'd be able to hang on and not blow up. And the time came down at the right amount, and I ended up entering the lead at 23K and ended up holding on for the win. So it was probably my best run ever off the bike. I think I averaged like 3:31 per kilometer for 30K.
Nice. So for those of you that don't know, that win resulted in a world championship. So that was a world ITU long course championship. So just a little explanation on the ITU part, Lionel. What's different in that than what you're used to?
I mean, in the regular ITU racing, it's draft legal. So, I mean, that would be the major difference. But for long course, there's no such thing as long course draft legal racing. So they do maintain the non-drafting rules. So ITU is like its own, almost like third-party like federation of triathlon. And so they put on all their own race systems outside of Ironman, and then the biggest competitor, Challenge.
Yeah. So was this in the plans for you all year, or was it kind of a late decision?
No, after I did Kona last year and had a very humbling experience, I basically came to the conclusion that if I'm not swimming in the second pack, then there's absolutely no point in me showing up to these races, because there's even though it's non-drafting, there's still such a very large draft effect that occurs. So anyways, I worked hard on my swim all year, and at Challenge Samarin, which was Challenge's inaugural world championship, I swam side by side with Sebastian Kienle, who is won the Ironman World Championship, won the 70.3 World Championship multiple times, and is a solid second-pack swimmer, and we swam side by side the whole time. So basically, in my mind, I had achieved the goal I had set out to achieve, and so then that's when I took 70.3 Worlds off the agenda and put ITU Long Course Worlds onto the agenda, which would be a good build-up for Kona. And obviously, my training has been good thus far, and so now I know what to work on and how to get myself into to good shape for Ironman.
So on the topic of Kona, is that next up for you, or do you have anything in between?
Yeah, Kona is the pinnacle. Kona is the goal probably for the rest of my career, and yeah, that's the next thing for the season.
So some people would look at your results last year. You set a world record long course. Now it quickly got knocked off this year, but it set a sub-8 hour world record. So some people would look at something like Kona and say, well, why can't you just go out and do that and win? So talk about the challenges at Kona in the past and what you need to do to get over the hump on that.
Yeah, I mean, Kona's a totally different animal. It's like disgustingly hot and humid, so that obviously plays a role. And I'm probably on the bigger end of triathletes at about 165 pounds. A lot of the great runners, especially in the Kona conditions, are more in that 140-pound range, more look like pure runners. But when you don't have, I mean, that's a lot of muscle mass you're missing. So generally, you don't push the bike nearly as fast in those conditions. So, I mean, it's a trade-off. So that's the big thing. And obviously, it's quite cold here right now, so it's kind of difficult to prepare for those conditions. So I'll go to Kona a couple weeks in advance to do that preparation. And I mean, basically, it's just been, I'm actually on the young end of the sport. It's been sort of a hardening process that seems to be happening. And so, yeah, I mean, I had to get my swim into better position so that I could come out with those half-decent guys and have people to work with on the bike. And then basically just harden myself to the pain that occurs when you're running at 90 degrees Fahrenheit at the basically equator with 60% humidity. It's a very, very challenging experience.
Well, when you head out there, last time you were at Kona, there was restaurants packed with locals watching you. You know you have a big fan club here, so we'll all be tracking you. And I know you got a big train day today. What, 14 by 1?
I'm gonna do
running?
14 by a K. If I feel all right, I'm gonna do 16 by a K, and I'll be looking to go about 307 to 310 per kilometer for all of them, with a minute recovery in between each.
Yikes. If you don't know, that's fast. So anyway, good luck, Lionel. We're all behind you, and I know the whole community appreciates everything you do for us.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right.